I've kind of been doing my best over the last year to stay away from anything that is Scream related just because of what happened to Melissa Barrera last year, which eventually led to Jenna Ortega also leaving the franchise. But some recent news has come out about Scream 7 that has made the new movie a little bit more interesting. Yesterday, Deadline officially reported that Sean Foley is returning as Roman, Sidney Prescott's half-brother from Scream 3, and that is big news, but that isn't the biggest. Just a few hours later, they followed that up with the biggest news the Scream franchise has had in years. Matthew Lillard will officially be returning for Scream 7. This is massive, massive news. Fans everywhere of this franchise have been theorizing and wanting this for so long, coming up with different ideas of how this character could return because of loopholes that were left in the original, leaving out the possibility that he actually was alive from the original movie. Now, the jury is still out on whether or not the character is actually alive and what the actual F is going on with this new movie, being that Neve Campbell is officially coming back as the lead of this film alongside Courtney Cox and a couple of other members from the previous two films. Melissa Barrera, as I mentioned earlier, as well as Jenna Ortega, will not be in this movie, unfortunately, shifting gears for this film, which then more than likely led to both Foley and Matthew Lillard being announced and brought into this project. But how? How in the world is this actually possible? How do these characters return without it making it feel ridiculous and kind of out of left field and not really making sense? Are they going to be able to have audiences believe that both of these characters are in fact alive and back in this franchise if they actually are alive and back in this franchise? The other possibility is like maybe it's a dream sequence, or we have some other flashback scenes, or I saw a crazy theory out there that it has to do with AI and face changing stuff, which could lead to a new Ghostface taking the faces of Sidney Prescott's former ghost faces, which would be a super twist on this franchise. I don't know how much I love that, but maybe I could get behind it eventually as I see it kind of play out a little bit more. I don't really know how I feel at Scream 7 at this moment. Scream is my all-time favorite horror franchise. I just love the vibe and feel of these movies so much, and I adore the last two movies so much, which is why I'm not really on board with this movie so far, because of what happened with Melissa Barrera, because of what happened with Jenna Ortega. I was such a fan of them and their characters, and I really wanted to see them continue on, but unfortunately, that's not the case. So we'll see what happens with Scream 7. As it gets closer and I see stuff from the film, maybe I'll get excited, but at this moment in time, I'm just going to be paying attention from the outside on what they're going to be doing with it, the story, what it looks like, and everything else.